What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Metahuman Macaluco, and I am proud to announce this very Christmas Day. We have none other than South Florida's very own Renzo Galliani. How are we doing today?
Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Absolutely.
So, Renzo, I've had a lot of DJs and rappers come on to my show, and I always ask them the very obvious question: where did you get your start? What was the thing that led you to become who you are today?
So, kind of like flopping.
No
Let me
worries.
fix this real quick. So, honestly, growing up, I was super into just video games, right? Video games and nerdy movies, The Matrix, stuff like that. Video games,
Star Wars.
yeah, Star Wars stuff, but mainly like racing games and all sorts of games that had a sick soundtrack. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, FIFA Soccer, just the list goes on, right?
Okay.
And back in the early 2000s, a lot of the music featured on those games was electronic music that was coming up.
Right.
So like Tiesto, Benny Benassi, The Prodigy were three that were huge. I remember finding the Gorillas through FIFA Soccer, like cool stuff, right?
Right.
So growing up, I never really was one to go to parties, right? I went to like a few birthday parties when I was a kid, not many. But into high school, I kind of just was more about basketball, DDR, and Halo. I
Okay.
didn't really go out. I didn't look for parties. I didn't like go to concerts. Then the Ultra Flyer comes out for Ultra 2009, and
Okay.
it's Tiesto, The Prodigy, Benny Benassi, and all these names that I know from like video games and Matrix soundtrack and movies. I'm like, fuck. Oh, is it okay if I
Yeah.
curse? Okay. Yeah, I just
No,
curse
you're good.
sometimes. Yeah, so I was like, I have to go to this. And my friends from high school were all kind of like, that's not really us. What are you doing? That's weird. Back then it was really like, it was seen as like a whole different subculture than like the nerd culture and the EDM culture didn't. You know what I'm saying?
At the time,
Yeah, the
yes.
geek culture, not for live shows. So my friends were just kind of like, what are you doing? This isn't you.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck it, I'm going to send it. And I went by myself and had a great time. And at that Ultra, I remember walking into, there was a DJ that used to do progressive house. He might still be around, Dirty South.
Dirty South. Okay.
Yeah. And it was during this Let It Go remix he had. First time I've ever heard him play, first time I've really heard house music live. You know what I'm saying? Like mixed
Yeah.
live. Because Tiesto's trance, Benny Benassi, it's house, but like it wasn't like a live set. I remember him just dropping into that song and being like, whoa, this is kind of what I've been looking for, like this. I'm
That
feeling
sound.
this,
Okay.
not just that sound, like just the environment, the community, the culture. And I felt so comfortable and like I belonged, even though I had never been to a real party, never been to a concert, never been to a rave. And in that moment, I was just like, damn, I belong here. So that made it click for me. Like, I want to be part of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And so, when did you yourself actually start DJing and promoting?
So DJing right after that, maybe like 3 or 4 months after, I was just pretty hilarious. I was at a friend's house and I had two tabs open. One had Soldier Boy, one had Tiesto. And I
Okay.
was trying to hit the you on beat to fucking Traffic by Tiesto. You. And my friend was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Like, just trying to, like, have fun. And he was like, download Virtual DJ. That's a free DJ software. And I was like, what, really? Like, I don't need a whole bunch of equipment
Yeah.
to, like, mess around? Cool. And I downloaded it, and that was it. Like, just hyper dove into it and never stopped.
Do you remember what board you had at the time?
Yeah, so my first mixer was a Denon battle mixer. I forgot the exact model. I have it in the room actually. I hold on to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and two Stanton C. I think it was like a C124 decks, and I had a Serato box, which allowed you to use the laptop on decks. Yeah, so that was like the first pair of decks I ever bought for when I first bought equipment.
Hell yeah. And so with that, you ended up developing your own team. My question to you is what came first? Was it simulation or Team Underground? And were these two teams something you yourself established?
So Team Underground was kind of just me trying to find my people back in the day because I went to Ultra and I was like, okay, this exists, you know.
Right.
I went to space. I was like, this isn't exactly the same, you know. It's cool, it's
Yeah.
amazing, but it's not that feeling, you know. Like, okay, where do I find this? And people were like, oh, come to this rave, come to that rave. It wasn't really. It didn't feel the way it felt at
Right.
Ultra. Like the music was different. So I just set out to find friends who were into specific styles like trance, break beats, hardstyle, dubstep, and I just went in the inbox and started hitting up just people I was friends with, like, hey, are you into dubstep? Are you into this? Are you into? Made a list of people who were into this stuff. I explained to a few friends, closer friends, that I was starting to DJ. I was like, hey, do you maybe want to start with me and we can like try to throw parties and stuff? And they said, yeah, we're down. And the, there's actually a bunch of DJs came from that. So everybody stuck to it. It was cool. Yeah.
Okay. And,
Shout out to Oscar, who goes by Dune Dogs, Kit, who used to go by Herox, uh, and Chomps was part of the beginning of it. And there was a few others, but those were like the main ones, you know.
what about
Asamotron, he was part of it too. Yeah.
Space Lord, Juno, and Mingo? Were they also a part of the journey?
Yes. So I met I met Mingo. He used to go by Shipwreck. I met him at one of my first gigs where I actually got booked for a party that wasn't like mine or like, you know, like a real promoter.
Yeah.
It was like a after party for a club cinema show. I forgot which one it was in Hollywood, in this like empty store basically that they just used. I was in the back room playing my set, and this skinny guy comes in with a Viking helmet, uh, bright green reflective suspenders, big pants, and he's just shuffling everywhere, going crazy. And I was like, holy shit, this guy is cool as hell, you know? Like
Yeah.
his energy is incredible. I need
Off
to
the
be friends
roofs.
with this guy. So I just told him what I was up to, and he was into it. And yeah, we're still kicking it pretty often, you know? He's awesome.
Hell yeah. And how did you meet Space Lord?
So that's actually a hard question to answer. It's one of those things where he was kind of everywhere and I was kind of everywhere, so I don't remember an exact moment where we met. But I mean, definitely notable things we did was the street team campaigns for Ultra. Like he was one of the managers. I was part of the team
Right.
back then, and pretty much every local movement ever he's been around for. You know,
Yes.
so yeah.
And during your journey, what would you say were the worst venues you've worked at and the best venues you've worked at?
So that's a tricky question, because I feel like you can't judge really. Well, most venues nowadays, there's some venues that are awesome at programming, entertainment, and working with promoters and keeping it consistent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, a lot of clubs have this revolving door mentality with promoters and DJs. So it's not consistent.
Yes.
So a lot of what makes a good venue is the promoter. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like Kelly's Pub, for example.
Okay.
Like I could say that was one of my favorite venues to work at, and also at some points the worst.
Okay.
So it's less about the spot and how it's being managed, who the promoters are, and all that. But about that, it's like Pub Dubs was Pub Dubs, not because it was Kelly's pub,
Right.
not because of the equipment we had on the table or the speakers. It was the community. So I think it's people get really focused on what venue's cool, what venue's not, but it's really who's there, and the vibe that everybody's setting, and kind of like that's what it makes it. That's what it's about.
And in regards to pub dubs, how did pub dubs come to be? What were the stepping stones behind that?
Oof. So that's a story. Pub Dubs doesn't start at Pub Dubs, right?
Right.
Pub Dubs is 12 years, 10 to 12 years of me doing it already, and
Right.
learning a lot, and doing it on what I consider like a big scale, and on a local scale, and like everywhere in between.
Right.
Having done everything in the book with me and my friends as far as like in the industry,
Yes.
uh, when the pandemic hit, like we were doing it pretty big,
Yes.
We were hosting uh, at a lot of really big venues. I want to stay away from saying specific names, but
No, no worries.
yeah, we were working at really big venues, and we had a lot of big bookings coming up that we put deposits down for and everything. And the pandemic hit on a week where we literally had like okay, it hit the week before Miami Music Week where they shut everything down. We had one show planned that was I think it was like a $12,000 show with three partners that we all had put a deposit towards. We never saw that money back.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had three or four other headliners that we paid deposits on that we had to postpone the shows to a future. Indefinitely, uh then we had like that week we had, I think, a rental every day that was at least like $700-800
Oh man.
for Miami Music Week. And then we had a venue we had paid a deposit on for that week. Absolute nightmare scenario, going into COVID. And then it was just like it didn't exist from one day to another. Like this thing we've been working on, this whole scene, like we don't even know if it's ever going to come back.
Right.
And then it slowly did. But what happened in Florida was uh, we opened up much earlier than the rest of the country to parties and social gatherings and stuff like that. And people started moving here from everywhere, right? New York, California, other places. Promoters took notice. They came here. Promoters with big pockets came, bought out clubs, festivals, and also the population itself changes.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was like the even just New York money. You know what I'm saying? From someone who used to live in Manhattan is different than Miami money,
Yes.
like in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So there was more money, more population. They wanted something else. It was hip hop. The whole Latin market exploded, which was cool. But it's not what we do,
Yeah.
you know. So that presented a lot of challenges, and out of nowhere, it was facing the reality that in our market, where we were doing what we felt was missing,
Yes.
and we said, "Yo, let's put this rhythm headliner at space. Let's book this hardstyle headliner in Orlando, because these things aren't happening
Right.
out of nowhere. It's everywhere all the time, and it's impossible to compete because it's a $10, $20 ticket maybe if you buy it early,
Yeah.
even $50. Like some of these DJs are massive. So as an independent promoter, someone who's never relied on somebody else's money, how do you compete with that? And it's not even about competing, because it's like we were booking those artists not for the spotlight, but because we wanted to see those artists and share that with the community, you know?
Yes.
So like that was our mission, but now everyone's doing that. So we don't need to be the ones doing that. Now what's happening in the grand scheme of things? There's these giant clubs opening up. Everyone's doing dubstep shows. Everyone's doing this and that. There's festivals now for it. What's happening to the locals? You know,
Yeah.
there really isn't a place for the culture to be the culture and for it to grow without the pressure of, hey, there's going to be 500 people here. Like the DJ's not going to go up there and do anything too risky, you know,
Yes.
because it's like, okay, they get a shot to play in front of 500 people. They're not going to take that risk, you know. Some might, and props to them, but in reality, it's not as comfortable as having a space where, you know, as a local, you can play, you can take risks, even if something doesn't go right. You know the promoter's got your back, and you're still going to get to play. So we wanted to create that space in the scene where it was low pressure and just invited the community to come and for people to be creative.
Right.
So that's where Pub Dubz came from. And it started at Underground's Coffee House and evolved into Pub Dubz across the street at Kelly's Pub.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was across the street. I've been there so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like right there, which was an awesome transition, really, because everybody was used to like the area already.
Yeah.
So from one day to another, it was like, okay, Undergrounds is starting to get more of the type of shows they want, because it's a coffee shop, you know, it's not like a place for dubstep ragers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got a bar across the street we can work with. So it was a very natural bridge.
Okay. Now, what would you say that your current goals as of right now are as both a DJ and a promoter as we speak?
That's some very interesting questions, right?
Yeah.
So the team went through a lot this year, and I did personally too. We kind of climbed very high, and it kind of it exploded, and everything was on full gear towards the beginning of the year. Uh, Investors, bigger artists, agents, uh, people with other businesses that were trying to, you know,
Yeah.
just try to mold our path or what we were doing. A lot of influence, and honestly, a lot of it was cool, but uh, it diluted us as far as the core team. You know,
Yes.
put a lot of pressure on us, and it's like the goal was always just kind of to get get the water going, you know, get the flow, get
Yes.
the wheel turning.
But did this inevitable pressure end up making everyone think about what they really wanted to do in terms of their own personal goals?
So that's kind of where we're at, right? So this year was basically another moment like the pandemic for us, where it was we took a step back and we said, what does the scene need? Where do we fit? Where can we do what we love, which is helping the culture grow, you know?
Yes.
So we're at that stage right now, and we have a lot of ideas, and we learned a lot this year, you know.
I got you.
So especially with I mean, Pub Dubz at Kelly's Pub was cool, but it definitely lived a good uh life, a good run. It had a very good run
Right.
at Kelly's Pub. Like to be at a venue for close to 4 years is rare,
Yes.
especially something like that. So I don't know. It just really opens the door for us to think about who we are, what we want to do, and how we want to do it.
So my next question to you is: I know Elric has been working very closely with the Bay Sanctuary at Riptides in Delray.
Yeah.
Are you and your team having involvement with his endeavors and that venue?
So definitely, Riptides is cool. Slaughter Queen plugged us in there to collab on some shows,
Okay.
and now there's a bunch of momentum there. A lot of things are gearing up. I think it's exciting because the last time we saw this many promoters at a spot on the same page was for Crafty Bar back in the day, or the Hideaway also. Same spot, different owners, but we kind of were able to build a system that took the pressure off everybody. Everybody was on the same page, and it thrives because it's what I was talking about, the consistency of the venue.
Right.
Because it's much better to show up and know what to expect versus showing up week after week and it's a different promoter, the quality is different, it's not the vibe. If one day a guy is charging you $30 to come in and you come in and there's five people and the DJ's not it.
Yeah.
And then there's other days you go to that same venue and there's nobody at the door, it's free and it's an amazing time. That inconsistency is going to make you think twice about coming out.
Yes.
So when you have three or four promoters at a venue all on the same page looking to split the workload and kind of work cohesively on the marketing, that provides a real chance for something to grow.
Okay. So I'm going to derail the conversation a little bit, and I did want to ask the anime and the cosplay community. Did
Yeah,
you feel that that was a huge deterrent to your progress, or do you feel that there is a symbiotic relationship between what you guys got going on and whatever they got going on?
absolutely. From the start, I knew that was something I wanted, right? To connect. Because if you think back a couple minutes ago, I was talking about how my friends from high school, my geeky, nerdy friends, were just thrown off by the idea of going to an electronic music event. And they said, that's not us. People like us don't go to that. Like, in my mind, I've always wanted to bridge that gap, right?
Right.
It's 100% a goal. And that's definitely started with DJing at some conventions back in the day. SuperCon,
Chibi Pa.
MizuCon, Anime EY, Chibi. No, was it at the time?
Well, Chibi was Anime EY and
Before,
Mizukon
yeah.
before they evolved.
But I don't remember if when I started it was Chibi or if it was Anime EY.
I got you.
But yeah, so it started there. And then in 2016, I started my yearly birthday party where I was determined to just bring my non nightlife friends to a nightlife environment and bring what they're comfortable with and they enjoy into that environment and kind of smash it all together. And yeah, that was the first of it. And I remember telling the club owner what I was going to do at Crafty Bar, and he was like, "What?" But he trusted me because we had a lot of good nights there.
Yes.
So he was like, "It's your birthday, we'll do it, but this is kind of different."
Yeah.
And we did uh, video game tournaments, we did board games, all sorts of stuff. The flyer was inspired by the original Run Zone flyer was inspired by Kung Fury.
Right. Oh
Yeah,
my
it
god.
had that cheesy 80s 3D effect, right?
Yes.
And the party was just a ton of stuff I liked and my friends liked smashed together. And I put $1 as the admission for it. Because honestly, if I could just make that work, I'd be happy. And if I could have a little bit to just shoot my friends who were helping make it happen, I'd be happy. And it became a yearly thing and pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I felt bad because I missed this last one while I was out in Lafayette, Louisiana. But from what it looked like in the photos and videos, it looked like everyone had a grand old time and a blast.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was
The year before that, I that was cool. I
yeah.
got to be there for that.
This year we went pretty hard with the Squid Games
Yeah,
theme. Yeah.
Pancake was dressed up all out.
Oh yeah, we did
That
all
was
those
so
games. It
fire.
was shout out to Natty. She baked all the Squid Games cookies for
Did
us
she
to use.
really?
Yeah,
I
it
didn't even.
was
No one took any photos
those
of
are
that.
hard to make, and she came through with a bunch of them, and I was like, sick. Thank you. Hell yeah.
Dude, hell yeah is
Mhm.
right. Um, my next question. So, as a DJ, I know you have your own particular favorite genres that you like, but as you have done this for the last couple of years, what would you say is something that you notice that the audience likes versus what you like?
Uh, so that goes kind of into like the whole iceberg of underground music, right?
Yes.
The deeper you go, the more DJs like it. Because a DJ, like, will have a 6 or 7 hour residency 2 or 3 times a week, like a house DJ, for example, right?
Yes.
Even if it's not that long, maybe a couple hours a night, they're still sitting there in a club listening to EDM for at least 3, 4 hours a night,
Absolutely.
their entire lives, you know? So whatever whatever's going to catch a normal person's ear is probably not the same as what's going to catch somebody who lives and breathes and their entire life is revolving around it, you know? This
Yes.
is what we call getting lost in the sauce, right?
Yes.
So it what there it's the general population that goes to an event, right? They're not there to hyper analyze the music or to you know watch the DJ do the craziest mixes that have ever happened or push the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
They want the beat to be there and they just want to hang out and be social, right?
Yes.
So that's where that discrepancy comes. So the more underground a track is, as far as like the mentality of it, if it's super obscure, interesting, crazy sound design, uh, broken beats, just a whole bunch of stuff, you know,
Yeah.
somebody who's DJing 10 hours a week is going to be like, I fucking love this. This is different. Like, oh, this is interesting, right?
Yes.
But the normal person, they might, you know, but the more underground it is, the more detached from the general population that's going to be.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Now, other than working in Florida, I know you've flown to Utah. Have you flown to any other states for shows that you've performed at?
Good question. So, Utah was the first of like out of state shows. Once we pulled back this year with and Dubz took a back seat because of all the stuff happening at the venue. I joined a Incubus tribute band called Remake Yourself, and that was cool. Super awesome experience. I got to play with the band in South Carolina, North Carolina, Jacksonville, and all over the state. So that's pretty cool. I think the most interesting thing from that was getting to play dream venues that I would have honestly, when I started doing this, I would have never imagined I'd get to that level, like House of Blues or like the Ritz.
Right.
So the first two shows outside of Ultra that I ever went to were Deadmau5's, for lack of a better name, tour, and it was House of Blues and the Ritz, and those were both on the Remake Yourself tour.
Okay.
So I was like, hell yeah, let's go, you know. And then I was told I could DJ in between the bands also, on top of performing with Remake Yourself.
Yes.
And so I got to bring EDM to a crowd that doesn't really usually listen to that, you know, and
Yes.
try to find that middle ground where they understand how to enjoy it, and I can still give them a little window into what our world is.
Right.
So crossing over, that was cool, you know.
Okay. It's so funny because that actually was one of my questions was the remake yourself Incubus tribute band.
Nice.
Uh, so Utah, North Carolina, South Carolina, any other states that I'm missing?
As of now, no.
No. And so with that band, how did you get involved with those guys initially? Like how did you actually cross paths with these gentlemen?
With remake yourself,
Yes.
Instagram DM, just a mutual friend referred them to me, and they hit me up and explained what the project was, and I said, "Yeah, I'm down."
Okay. Hell yeah. So I'm gonna also put their Instagram bio in the link
Yeah.
in the link in the bio below. You guys should check them out. Um, so my next question, um, and this might be another tricky one, but what would you say out of all the people that you've worked with and promoted, would you say that you had a favorite celebrity DJ that you worked with? And would you say that you had a celebrity DJ that you disliked working with?
Yeah. So the one I dislike, I'm not gonna say because everyone loves this dude. They worship this dude. So I mean, his artistically incredible. Not my favorite person, you know.
Yeah.
And we booked them several times. But my favorite, there's a lot of awesome ones. Like the funniest for sure was like Eptic.
Not for
Hilarious dude. Amazing DJ, amazing producer, absolutely hilarious. That dude is a riot. And I mean, celebrity celebrity DJs.
yeah.
Okay, what do you consider a celebrity DJ?
So like Pinky, for example.
Pinky, yeah, Pinky's awesome. Definitely a favorite. Uh, it's- how do I put this? She's always first.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like she pushes the trend before it's a trend. Like she's got her finger on the pulse, and honestly, is an amazing creative.
Gotcha. Anyone else you like to shout out or name out or no?
I could go on for days.
No
If you
worries.
ask me more specifically, you know, like
I got you. Uh, so we'll derail that question for now. And I will ask because I know early you had mentioned that during the pandemic you had many promoters coming down and investing money into doing all these different shows and shows that you wouldn't normally do.
well, this was so the pandemic was not investing into us, just investing into Florida,
Yes.
and that kind of drowned the local market out. This past year is when everyone was trying to get in on whatever we built and take it different directions and do what
Well,
they wanted to do with it.
my question was going to be, you've done pub dubs, you've DJ'd as uh, Fresno and Galliani, the DJ, and you work with Remake Yourself, the Incubus tribute band. Have you ever worked at a rap show or a metal show at any given point in your career?
So recently we did both together. It was Swamp Them. They hosted a event,
Right.
and it was Halloween weekend, and there was a rapper headliner. Jeff's band from Equinox played. There was rappers, metal bands, all sorts of bands. It was a crazy, awesome time.
Okay.
So we did a awesome light setup with the intern. Everything looked beautiful. Everything sounded beautiful. We did the entire production for that event was Natty, Pedro, and myself, the
Okay.
intern. Yeah, and sound, lighting, all of it. working the soundboard, the lighting, the whole event. It was a crazy, crazy job, but it was fun. We loved it.
Gotcha. And earlier, I had brought up two names or aliases. There's Fresno, and then there's Galliani, the DJ.
Yeah.
And you utilize these names for different genres depending on what genre you're playing. Um, how do these names come to be?
So that's a great question. Uh, Galliani, I'm gonna start by defining,
Yes.
my different stage names. So Galliani is more of your groovy, clubby, like underground, but sometimes I shouldn't say underground. It crosses over into a lot of commercial stuff, but definitely the more clubby, housey, four on the floor that you would expect from your average DJ playing a club.
Right.
So it's just a love for the dance floor, the groove, just less about the performance, more about just keeping the flow and energy of the dance floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Fresno is high energy rave stuff, everything from dubstep to drum and bass, hardcore, house, whatever is needed at the moment. That's what's going to happen. And it's got a huge focus on nostalgia. And that's because during the pandemic, I was really thinking about why I got into everything. And then there was a lot of exploring of music I listened to before I got into EDM.
Right.
And I kind of just shut it out once I got into EDM. I just hyperfixated into dance music. So all the new metal I used to listen to, all the rap, all the other cheesy stuff from like different nerdy influences, like that went out the window. I was just house music, house music, house music, dubstep, dubstep, dubstep. So Fresno tries to take from all of that I neglected for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is it true that you got your name from an individual who couldn't pronounce your name correctly, and
Hey,
he just said Fresno underneath his breath?
yeah, so that happened at Underground's Coffee House. The barista, uh, I was being annoying, I'm sure. They were like, Fresno, and I was like, oh no, because it sounded like it would stick. I
Yeah.
was like, oh no. Within 10 minutes, everybody at the party was calling me Fresno, and I was like, you know what? That kind of feels right for what I'm exploring right now, which was those musical influences from different points in my life. It was it felt right for what I was exploring musically.
I got you.
And then the next flyer I put out said Fresno on it, and it stuck.
Hell yeah. Do you foresee yourself traveling outside of the United States to either DJ or work with Remake Yourself?
That would be amazing. Hopefully, no plans of that yet, but hopefully,
Okay.
yeah.
And what would you say, in your opinion, is the most important thing to distinguish when you're DJing and promoting?
So a lot of DJs get lost in the game, and they're looking for that 15-second Instagram clip that's going to help them get traction on their posts, to get people to shows. But there's a direct contradiction between promotion and marketing.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that, right? So I think as a DJ, you have to remember that in the end, your goal is to provide a good experience to the people who are there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you got to build the right atmosphere. Even if you want to do this or that, or at least this is my mentality as a DJ. Even if I want to play this super obscure thing, or I want to introduce the crowd to this, or I really want to play this song, like I think it would be funny if I do whatever I want to do, right?
Yes.
My mentality as a DJ is get there correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't just slap it on, because the crowd takes notice to that. So a lot of people go up there with a funny edit that's going to get them that 15-second clip, hit play, ha ha ha, and then the set just falls off, and it's like, yeah, you got that 15-second clip, but what's everyone who leaves gonna tell people? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not gonna be like, we need to go see that guy, we need to go to that party, we need to go see that chick. No, it's eh, you know.
Absolutely.
So promotion, on the other hand, is get that 15-second clip, put it everywhere, get as many eyes as possible. You know, sell
Yes.
tickets, sell tickets, sell tickets. So there has to be a balance between the experience and the brand you're providing and the sales and promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And before we wrap up this interview, I'll give you this one last question. What advice would you give to any newcomers or novices who are also trying to get into the game?
Um, it's a rough game, right? So you're gonna hear a lot from a lot of people. People are gonna tell you, don't work with this person, work with that person, don't do this, do that. You know, everyone's gonna be in your ear. Everybody's got a motive.
Yes.
They're telling you what they're telling you for a reason. Just don't rush into anything, you know? Make sure that you're not taking steps that you're not ready for. I think that's huge, because a lot of people say, "Hey, no, this is how you blow up. Let's do it." Blah blah blah. You know, we'll do this and that, and then we pay this much, and bam, you're there. You're the guy. But if you go up there and bomb, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's not good.
No.
No. So there has to be that journey, you know, and you got to embrace it. Like, that's what it's about, because that's how you contribute to the culture.
Right.
Yeah. You're not just, figuring out
You're
how to,
learning.
yeah, like, how do I land here and just milk it? No, like, you got to become part of the culture. I guess that's my answer.
I got you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's definitely some important people need to remember is you got to actually show up to other people's stuff
Yeah,
if you want them to recognize your stuff.
that is huge. Supporting others is incredibly important.
Which, speaking of which, any upcoming shows we should know about?
Um, so I'm doing Stash in January for Otaku Gautica.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Fan club. That's
Hell
gonna be
yeah.
epic. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. Yeah.
Sick. And I'm looking forward to that one too. Anyways, folks, thank you, Resno, for coming on to the show.
Absolutely.
It's been a long time coming. I'm finally glad we were able to do this. And Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year. This is your boy, Metahuman Macaluco. We're coming back stronger next year.